What's going on, Division Agents? Oh man, it has been such an epic week. I mean, we've had so much information coming about the Warlords of New York. We've had so much dev talk from Tuesday of the games, even on Twitter, social media platforms everywhere. I mean, the hype is real. It's about to get even more intense just with the upcoming weeks leading up to Warlords. And, I'm going to try and bring you as much information as possible. So, let's get right into this video. This morning, on my Twitter feed, I saw someone who asked a question. It was a very good question regarding the gear score. And apparently there's a lot of people that don't quite understand just how the gear score will actually work versus having the expansion and not having the expansion. And so with this, we'll get right into it. So right here we have Herrera that asked a question to Thylander. He says, stats on level 40 gear and weapons are going to be better than gear score 15, and if so, how will this affect the sharing when playing with level 30 friends? Also, will the new skill variants be anyway obtainable for those who don't buy Warlords expansion? Thanks. In response, Thylander went ahead and said, level 31 gear is better than 515. Level 40 is vastly better, as has always been the case. You cannot use gear that you are not high enough level to equip. The skills are part of the content in the expansion. The Division Dream Team stated, so level 40 is going to drop like gear score 600 loot. Thylander in response, level 40 drops level 40 loot. It doesn't use the gear score monitor at all. Doesn't need it anymore since it's so much easier to judge the strength of a piece of gear by its attribute bars. The Dream Team came back, getting a bit lost here with level 30, level 40, and 515 gear score loot now. Could you give us some light, Thylander? So in response to this, I said, so if you do not have the expansion, the gear score will go up to 515 across DC. When you do buy the expansion, you can boost to 30, grind from level 30 to 40, where 40 is high tier loot. Warlords will no longer use gear score. Am I right, Thylander? In response, he said, very good summary. So essentially, and then Agent Obi went ahead and asked, why did you keep the gear score in case of just a straight swap to this? Because if you don't buy the expansion, you still have to have the end game we sold you intact. Which makes perfect sense. They can't take away something that was in the base game, especially because of costs and the amount of time it would actually take to convert everything over to the new levels. Now, with this, so what does this mean for all the players right now who do not quite understand how this gear change is going to work? So now, keep in mind, this isn't about how your current gear is going to get converted. This is all about the gear score changes and what's going to happen between not having the expansion and having the expansion. So, in regards to not having the expansion, if you do not have Warlords, but you have the base game of the Division 2, you're going to have 1 through 30, and then when you hit your world tiers, world tiers 1 through 5 is when you're going to get your gear scores. Now, the gear score for world tier, the highest gear score they're going to go to is 515. So when you hit world tier 5, you're going to get gear score 15. Now, if you have the Warlords expansion with this, you are going to be 30. Once you hit New York City, it's going to go 31 up into 40, and then 40 is going to be the new top tier loot. Okay, there's no more gear score. There's no more anything of that nature. It's just going to be level 40 tier. Now, if you go back to not having the expansion, your gear score 515 is going to resemble level 30 to 31 tier loot. So it's going to be quality loot, but it's not going to be level 40 loot. It's trying a way to entice you to get the expansion. If you like it enough, you're going to buy the expansion. You're going to continue the story. You're going to continue to grind, because that's the whole point of Warlords of New York at the end game, is to grind for the god rolls, to get that level 40 gear, to do all the hard content, to do the raids. That's what the main purpose of Warlords is for, is to continue the epic end game grind. So now the next question someone's probably going to have is, well, what if my friend doesn't have the expansion, but I do? Can I share my level 40 gear with him? Technically, no, because if your friend doesn't have the expansion, he's not going to have access to the higher tier level 40 loot. He's just going to be at gear score 15. Now, regardless, the way it always works in the Division or any looter shooter for that matter, you have to be the level in order to equip that gear. So it would be null and void. Just because you're level 40, they're gear score 15, they're not going to be able to use the gear. That's common sense. That's just how it's going to be. Until we get more further notice on how exactly that's going to work, this is what has been stated amongst social media platforms, preferably Twitter. So other than that, I mean, I think we went pretty in depth as to how the gear score 515 and the level 40 is going to work. Now, again, and it's just about reiterating this as much as possible, gear score 15 only is affected by people who do not have the expansion. If they don't have the expansion, they are gear score 15. If you have Warlords of New York, you are going to be level 30 to level 40, and then that's your gear. That's your tier loot, and then it goes on from there. But there is no more gear score in Warlords of Expansion. The gear score has been put out. It is completely just level 40 high tier quality loot. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it made sense. If it didn't, or if you still have questions, please drop a comment down in the section below. I always read my comments. I always respond in like less than 24 hours. I love collaborating. I love talking. And I want to get the information out there to you guys because I know there's a lot of people who are very, they're questioning about how gear is going to work, how my power level is going to work, how it's going to be affected and everything. So by all means, I really hope that this video has helped you in a way to better understand just how it's going to work, having the expansion and not having the expansion. Gear score 15 versus level 40. Definitely let me know in the comment section below. All my returning subscribers, thank you for returning and watching this video. All my new subscribers, please, if you're brand new here and you like what I'm putting out, definitely hit that subscribe button down there in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm trying to do this as frequently as possible, just trying to get the information out there because I know a lot of people have missed a lot. There's a lot of info going on right now, especially in the next couple of weeks before the lead up to Warlords. So definitely hit me up. You guys can follow me on Twitter, follow me on here, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment below. And as always, everyone, likes appreciated, subs are respected, and I will catch you again next time. Take care.